So the first question relates to an issue that was raised yesterday, which is the communication gap between smaller provinces and larger provinces, such that it seems like larger provinces are dominating conversations and smaller provinces and territories are not being able to have as much of an equal say. What is the Northwest Territories' stance on what's happened?
Yeah, I would say people would use the excuse that we aren't talking as much, especially me. Some of us are talking as much because we don't have anything to say. But the reason there's not as much to say is because the issues aren't really about us at all. Like talking about a pipeline that runs through BC and Alberta, that has almost nothing to do with Northwest Territories, other than the environmental impacts affect us the most. But other than that, there's nothing that really pertains to us in that discussion. And a lot of other discussions have stuff like that as well. So it's a little harder to get our voice out because the topics of discussion don't have as much to do with us as they do with other things. Like if we aren't recognized as being as good as other provinces as well, because we aren't even a province in the first place. That's why I feel like hashtag free the North. You know what I'm saying. Like if you as a territory, we deserve the same equal respect as any province. Our people are no less important as people that live in Ontario. Our issues are just as important as the issues of any maritime province, any province across Canada. So I feel like we need to be treated as such.
Do you have any ideas as to how this problem could be solved? Because this was apparent in all of the ministries where the larger provinces were dominating the conversations and the territories were almost shunned out.
Yeah, I would say having discussion topics that actually pertain to all of Canada and not just a specific region of Canada is important. Also, if worst comes to worst, we would have to maybe talk to the federal government about allocating more money and resources towards us because we are very underfunded. Some places in northern places, such as North of the Territories, Yukon, and Nunavut, some areas even resemble those of the developing world. Like a lot of things like power lines and things. Like we agreed on getting power to citizens of Northwest Territories, but there were even some provinces that said that was a bad idea. And I understand, how can you argue for not having power for citizens?
Okay. And my last question to you is, yesterday you came with some goals in mind as to what you wanted to accomplish throughout this conference. Are you happy with this conference? Is there anything you're unhappy with? What is your overall opinion?
I would say it's mixed. We did achieve a lot. I would say First Ministers, almost everything went well. So there wasn't much to add to the discussion because everything was going the way we would want it to go. In some of the other committees, however, there were some things that weren't going as well. Like some of the blatant disrespect by the Northern Loon towards us was it was very disheartening to have that sort of talk towards us. But
what specifically?
They were Twitter warring with us and having all these discussions with us in person. I feel like the Wild West is very much more credible news source.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. All right. So what would you think that we could do next time to make it better? You talked about talking about issues that are specific to all of Canada. So could you give us an example, maybe?
Yeah. I would say basically a lot of things, even if an issue doesn't pertain to a northern province or northern territory, having some kind of connection in that. So whether that's through environmental impacts or allocating money and resources, those issues need to be heard and they need to get a small piece of that.
All right.